Welcome to Gary's Hobby Studio. In this video, I needed to finish this one unit that I had installed in my rack, and I'm going to show you what's inside of it. I'll explain a little bit. Then I'm going to come back. I'm going to show you the interface for it, because what it's going to be is for storing my YouTube videos, so that way I don't need to leave them on my laptop, free up space, stuff like that, especially the finished videos, not so much like anything I'm working on. That stuff will still stay on here. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. All right. So what I'm going over today is I'm going to be installing TrueNAS Scale on this box here. Now, this is a super micro case. 12 bay case. I've only got 4 hard drives in it. I've got 3 here, and I want to say the 4th one here because they go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 12. Okay, it has 2 platinum power supplies. I want to say, let me see if I can do this one-handed. There we go. Kind of hurt a little bit because I pinched myself. I don't know if I can pull that up or just trying to see. It's 920 watts each. Now, I doubt if this is really going to be using 900 watts. Sorry about the camera work. I'm doing everything one-handed with my cell phone. There we go. Okay. Bought this off of eBay. It was just the case with the sleds in the front. And everything else, I added all this other stuff. This is an Asus F1 A55-M LE motherboard with a FM1 processor of AMD's. It's either a dual or a triple core. Can't remember which it is. I want to say it should only have 16 gigs of RAM. Here's the 2 drives. Got a little janky. I had to extend this here because these are so short here because I want to leave the 12 bays empty so that way I can put drives in it to increase the storage, because I'm going to use this as my YouTube storage server. And then that way, once I'm done creating videos, once they're uploaded and everything, I can dump them over here. And I'm going to put TrueNAS Scale on it because I'm going to set up the, I'm trying to think of the name of it, TDAR just came to me. So that way I can have it compress the videos to H.265 and not leave it in H.264 and actually save some space, because I've done it with some of the movies that I have on my storage units for, oh crap, I'm trying to think of the name of it. Plex. Yeah, I'm doing real good tonight. So it's a little janky because I have an extended splitter here that goes underneath there, comes up here. Here's the 2 connections here. Each one goes to each one of these 2 SATA drives. But there's also one in there to plug into the fan so that at least this fan will run, because the other 2 need to be plugged in. And since I'm not using a Supermicro motherboard that was probably originally in this, there's no way for me to connect this stuff up. I got to find a way to split this into multiple ones and then connect each one to it, because I have some adapters. I have some adapters like this to where they go into a solid connection And then here's the power connection right here, so that then I could run these two fans right here. So it's still going to be a work in progress, but at least I'm going to get it started. So, all right, well, that's it for the internals. I need to get a new RAID card to connect for the other 4. There, I want to say this is not going to work right off the bat anyways, because I need the RAID card. Yay! So this will be part 1, because I have to finish getting the hardware and I have to get the card. Because the problem is, I have a card here, but you see this high back? I need something so that it's going to be in the front here, and then these cables are going to plug into that. So I'm going to need to order it. But at least this is the starting point of it, because this is going to be a NAS, and there's some other things I got to work out too, which I'll explain later. Okay, and that was the internals. So now let's go ahead and get to the software part of it. Okay, and as you can see, this is the interface. Yes, I like the dark mode. It's easier on my old eyes. This thing is a little noisy. I also have to get extenders so that, because I might have mentioned it in the internal video, so that I can get all the fans working to help keep it cool. But I also want, there's different fans that don't make as much noise, and that's what I'm going to do with those. I'm going to swap those fans out. So, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new pool. And this is only going to be temporary, because I still need to test putting the iSCSI part on a separate VLAN. And I'm still working on that. I'm having a little bit of a difficulty on that. So we're going to give this a name of YouTube videos. Actually, call it YouTube backup. Click next. Layout. Considering I only have 4 drives in the system, I'm going to give it a RAID Z1 for right now. As soon as I can get more drives and actual ones that are not SMR drives, the better CMR drives, I will replace those and add to it. I still have to get a RAID card, and I still need to put a 10G card in it. Okay. Let's see. This size is minimum. I am not checking that. And then the width, you can tell it since I'm running it in a RAID Z1, how many drives do I want? Do I want 3 drives? Do I want 4 drives? I'm going to put 4. So this way it uses all 4 drives in there. The RAID Z will change over time when I get more drives to fill up the other drive bays. And there's only going to be 1 VDEV for right now. I don't know if I'm going to split it between the because it has a total of 12 drives. I don't know if I'm going to make 2 VDEVs or 1 VDEV. It just depends on the size of the drives. If I get large enough drives, or somehow I hit the lottery and can buy even bigger drives, I might, if that would happen, I would just reuse the ones that are in the 2 storage units now, because I'd be putting in like 20 terabyte drives in those. But I didn't win the lottery, and not only that, but I can't shit a gold bar out of my ass. So we go ahead and set all this, and as you can see here, it shows that it will have approximately 8 terabytes. They're 3 terabyte drives each. So let's go ahead and hit next. And the layout, I have no idea what that is. For some reason, it repeated. So you would think it would go to the next step, right? Spare optional. Cache, don't have that. Metadata, don't have that either. Dedupe, don't have enough memory for that, because I think, if I remember correctly, it's like It takes 1 GB of RAM per terabyte of storage. So I've only got 16 gigs in this thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to add any more. Actually I can't, because this is the Asus motherboard that I had, and it's supposed to handle. I can't remember what the manual said. It was either 32 gig or 64 gig, one way or the other. The sad thing is, for unregistered DDR, I think it's DDR3. They don't make a module higher than 8 gig. So for me to, if it supports 32, I think it does support 32. There's no way for that to ever fill up because they don't make a 16 gig stick unless you get the ECC memory. But the board doesn't support ECC, so it's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. And those sockets, FM1s and FM2s, because I have two different boards. The FM1 doesn't support ECC, and neither does the FM2. So I'm kind of stuck between that. I was thinking about maybe replacing the one in the other storage unit, the one I built, use that motherboard because it's an FM2, and it's also got 4 slots instead of 2. So that one I could put 32 gigs, but I'm working with what I got right now, and that's what I got. So, so there's no memory or anything for dedupe. And we got that. Back to DDEV. Okay. Create the pool. All the contents will be deleted, which I'm totally fine with it. Because I do have a half-height fiber card that I need to pull out of this one machine. Because for some reason, Windows 11 doesn't recognize the card. Shocker there. Because I was going to use it in my download machine to give it at least a little more data transfer speed, but Windows gave me the big middle finger and said, fuck you. So my theory is fuck it and all that stuff. I'm thinking about maybe trying to put Debian on the download machine. It just depends. I got to work on that. That's a project for another day. Now, I didn't encrypt this just because I want to play with it first. And so there we go. So everything's good. Yeah, not a sign. I'm not worried about that. Manage data sets. Scrub. Manage disks. And I'm going to set this up later, just because, like I said, I got to attach it to my main network because that's where that's going to be. This is just to show you that I did install it. I had to move the drives from the left end to the right end because there's 6 ports, SATA ports total on the motherboard. 4 of them are used for the 4 spinning drives, and then the other 2 are for the 2 SSDs that I installed in it. But so far, everything is that's for that. I was hoping to see if it would support the others, but apparently not. See, disks. See, this is the boot pool right here. They're 120 gig SSDs. And then here's the 4 other drives that are used for that. Smart enabled true, smart extra options NA. No smart results. No smart tests have been performed. Yay. I think this is that bug that I saw on their on their website. I want to say, if I remember correctly, that there should be an interval somewhere. And apparently not here. Yay! God, I love whenever the hell they tell you one thing and then something else. Okay, so anyways. So here's the dashboard. And like I said, it's going to be something I'm going to test. It's not going to be permanent just yet. Not until I can figure out, because I want to move my data storage off of my main network onto a separate VLAN, so that way it will keep it from doing what it's doing. I don't want the data on the same network. I want to separate it for both speed and security and stuff. And unfortunately, this stupid thing doesn't have that. But I'll have to figure out some way of, whenever I'm installing software, because that motherboard doesn't have an IPMI or any kind of management on it. And there's no way for me to share everything that's going on the screen, just because of the fact that it doesn't. There's no way for me to do it unless I put a remote management card in there, and I really don't want to buy one. I'd rather have a motherboard that already has one on it. But this is going to be my YouTube storage server. It is the silver one, right where my finger is in the video there. And that way, like I said, once I'm done, I can just offload the videos. And this way it'll keep my laptop mean and clean, or running mean and lean, and I'm not junking up the hard drives on it. I can store like pertinent files, like anything for that I would add for editing, like any kind of overlays, or just stuff like that. I doubt if I'm going to keep any of the, like, if I have any kind of B-roll or anything like that, that kind of stuff I'm probably just going to just eliminate. But as I always like to say, have a good day, guys. Take care, and see you next time.